name is Abigail Hyatt, and my book was The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. The book starts out with, or the exposition is, where Howard Rourke and Peter Keating are both students at a college for architecture, Rourke being from a poor family and boarding with Keating's family while at the college. Rourke is known for being argumentative and strange, but very talented. Keating is a star student, but is adequate. The inciting incident. Rourke is expelled from the college, while Keating graduates at the top of his class. The rising action is, Rourke is employed by Cameron, an architect who used to be on top of the world, but due to his refusal to bend to its will is now running a failing business. Keating is now employed by Franken, a very successful architectural business. While Rourke skirts from job to job, never getting success but also never letting go of his integrity, Keating rises through the ranks, but through means that are immoral due to his inability to make it out of his own talent. Along the way, Dominique Franken steps into the picture. She is Rourke's love interest of the story, and while Keating tries to advance upon her, she shows no interest in him and states that she would only marry him if she needs to punish herself, which she actually does, once to him and then to another man. Rourke's name is dragged through the mud because of the job given to him by Toohey, a man who is dedicated to destroying greatness, and his career is in shambles, yet he remains as apathetic and unmoved as ever. The climax is, Keating goes to Rourke begging for him to design another building for him, and Rourke agrees on one condition, that it isn't changed at all from its original blueprint. However, when it is erected, it is clear to Rourke that his words were not heeded, so he takes actions into his own hands. He and Dominique go to the building and bomb it. The action is, Rourke goes to court for his bombing of the Cortlandt building, with Keating and Toohey, among others, against him. However, just when it seems he has little hope, he gives a monologue about the value of selfishness and preserving one's integrity, and how creators all throughout history have been corrupted by second-handers. Meanwhile, Keating's biggest moment is with Toohey, a man who'd advised him during the duration of his career and supported him. Toohey reveals that his true intentions and beliefs, saying that he wants to create a world where all is equal and none are great, where altruism is the god, and slaves serve slaves. His speech is the biggest moment for Keating, as despite it, and now knowing his idol's true nature, he remains as pathetic as ever, and refuses to, leave Toohey. The characters in the novel are the protagonist. While there's many focus characters, the protagonist is Howard Rourke, an egotistical, cold, shut-off, but very talented architect who refuses to let go of his ideals and doesn't need others to feel validated. The second main character, though it's hard to call him protagonist, is Peter Keating, a mediocre architect who relies on others for validation and work, caring so much for others' opinions and being so selfless that he has little of his own identity. It's kind of pathetic, honestly. Dominique Franken is a protagonist and Rourke's love interest. She's a talented newspaper columnist, as cold and ruthless as Rourke. She speaks her mind and refuses to be weak or manipulated by anyone. The novel's antagonist is Ellsworth Toohey, who stands for everything that Rourke is not. He is talentless and only talks of selflessness, saying that wanting in general is a selfish thing and that altruism is the true god. AKA, he thinks that sacrifice is the way to, be pure. Except not really, because he just wants people to do that so he can gain. Ayn Rand is the novel's only truly gray character. He runs a newspaper and seems completely lost in the tide of second-handers of society, but it's revealed that he was actually like Rourke once, and just had it battered out of him. He tries to redeem himself after meeting Dominique and Rourke, but fails. Now, as for my opinion of the book, personally, it's kind of meh for me. While the prose was very well written, and the book in general is actually really well written and stuff like that, I just don't like how black and white it is. If you don't agree with Rourke in the book, then that character is immediately the scum of the earth. If you don't agree with Rourke, you are a bad character. If you do agree with Rourke, you are the best character. And it's really boring that way because, grayness is important, and it just takes a lot out of the moral when it's just black and white like that. And I just frankly couldn't like it because of that. I did enjoy parts of it, especially Toohey's monologue, as it is a really interesting look into his psyche. And like I said, the prose is really good. It's just well written, it flows well, doesn't have a bunch of unneeded fluff in it. But as a whole, I guess I'd recommend it if you don't really mind how black and white it is. But as for me, it's okay, I guess. And that was my video on The Fountainhead.